This episode of the podcast is brought to you by Cinch Jeans. Cinch reminds you to lead, not follow. Check out their latest styles at cinchjeans.com, including the Arena Flex, which is perfect for summer. Cinch is a proud partner of rodeo athletes and Western lifestyle events nationwide. Follow the trend of professional athletes just like Amberley Snyder and find your look at cinchjeans.com. Like, it's getting weird.
It really is, and I don't like it.
No, I don't either. Hey, we rolling, right?
Hold on, I have issues.
One job.
This whole time I thought we were rolling.
No, I knew we weren't.
You knew that?
I knew we weren't. I didn't think this was official. This isn't official talking.
She knows what's up.
No, this is exactly what it is.
This is like pre-BS.
You're so used to giving speeches and doing what the hell?
Yeah,
I took
gotcha.
2 drinks. Yeah, specific interviews. You're not used to this relaxed thing.
No.
Yeah, you drink
It
a
has
little
to.
more. It'll be
has to
fine.
It has to be official.
It doesn't.
It's when okay. Are we ready to start? That's how it always is. Are you ready? Like,
Really? We always just get
still
it.
ready.
We just
Tell
start.
tell us your name. Spell your name. I'm like.
No, we're not doing that.
I
here.
hope they.
I know how to spell your
know
name.
who I am by the time I get there.
Yeah, we're already friends. We went to lunch. What'd you have? It was sour cream.
Enchiladas.
Those are actually good. I've
They
had them
actually
before.
were really
That place
good.
is good. I don't know why I get mocked for going there.
I felt like I had to slow down on the chips and salsa because you guys weren't helping me. Even though I
I'm
would
not
have,
a
I
big
would have
chip
finished.
person.
I would have finished that whole thing by myself.
You totally could have. There'd be no judgment.
I felt like there could have been some judgment there, so I was like,
By who?
don't
By Cassie?
"You guys, it's good. The next time somebody comes into town, they're gonna be like, last time we came here, Amberley ate this entire thing by herself."
I'm gonna tell people that.
I know you would. I didn't. You can't because I didn't. I stopped. I had self-control at the end of that.
And people lie all the time. People believe it all the time.
I try not to. I'm a bad liar.
This is The Gauge with host Chance Conradu.
Are you freaking serious? It's Conrado. This is The Gauge, and I am Chance Conrado. On this episode of the podcast, we've got Amberley Snyder. She doesn't need an introduction. She doesn't need me to tell you who she is. You all know. She's awesome. She's amazing. She does all kinds of great things. She's taken every setback in her life and turned it to a positive. She writes children's books. She gives back to the community. She does tons. We don't talk a lot about that stuff, though, because everybody knows that. We kind of just have a lot of fun. She does credit her family, her siblings, for a lot of things. We do talk a little bit about that, but we just had a good old time, and I think you guys will too. Check it out.
Do you want us to just pause?
Pause.
And you just straight up.
Recording in 3, 2.
This is some amateur shit, dude.
I thought I was coming into the real deal.
It's so funny. I was like, we have the best producer. He's going to be on his A game. Trust me. I sold you on that.
Except
and
for
look at
today.
this below average crap.
Below average.
I'm just really upset right now. I'm not as upset as the fact that I wasn't able to have any chips at lunch.
Well, because that was not even true. You had the whole basket right in front of you.
There was a basket there, but there was somebody sitting across me who wouldn't stop taking the chips.
Stinking Cassie in the whole time.
Yeah. See what I mean by people will believe lies? Poor Cassie's not even here to defend herself.
Nope.
It's funny, though, because you were scared to eat the chips.
I really was.
Why
I
were you-
really was.
What was so scary about that?
Because I wanted them, all of them. And then when Cass was like, here, you can have the salsa in front of you, I'm like, game on. All right. And then when she asked for her own, then I thought, oh, we really were supposed to be sharing.
She made it awkward.
That's when I started to back off. That's
Okay, she can't come to lunch
like
anymore,
subconsciously,
then.
I was like, oh, we really were sharing those. Oh, okay. Well, never mind. Then I slid it over to her and then I slowed down.
Do they not have Mexican restaurants in Utah?
Oh, of course they do.
You know the chips are free.
Well, yeah, I know.
It's bottomless. You can eat all you want and they'll refill it.
I seriously was just waiting for you to just say, wow, are you going to have any more chips? And I'm going to be like, oh, yeah.
I really wanted to, but I just didn't feel like it was
See, you
appropriate.
didn't even notice till I brought it up.
How dare you?
I know.
I was scared to eat the chips because, like, is she going to smack my hand if I
I
reach for one of these
I
chips?
could have.
You were being very, very territorial.
I know. But I didn't finish them.
I was warned that you would be like that with chips.
Really?
Yeah.
Really? Is that something that people say?
Yeah, they do. If you mess with that chick's chips, she will sock you in the face.
It's only all sometimes.
It wasn't today, but I was ready because like you were gonna throw a hand and I was gonna just move. Mm-hmm. But it didn't happen, so we're good. I was safe because you look like you could probably knock me out.
Well, I don't know. I don't like hitting people very often. Running them over on occasion, I can do that, but you won't see me hit anybody.
The way that you maneuver in that, though, it's like you really could cause some
I really
damage.
do. I really do scare my brothers.
Really?
I honestly do. I do. I like if they're standing somewhere and they try to go around me, and I just will. I don't know. Just juke them out the right. No, because they would be juking me out. I don't know what that would be, but it's the best if they don't have shoes on.
And you just
crush
people's toes?
Well, I mean, like I attempt to, right? Like, I mean, I really don't try to hurt them, but just maybe make them say ouch or something. People don't know that, right? Because I'm a polite person.
You're so polite. What is it? You're so PC. You're so politically correct. It's great. You're so used to speeches.
Well, that's what it is. That's what I mean, because and there's so many little kids that watch me, so I try to just be on the A game all the time.
Does it get exhausting though?
You know what? Like sometimes it does, just because when I was in high school, I wasn't like that at all. I was not a people person. I mean, I liked people, but you would see me pull into a high school rodeo and I would go find the farthest away corner. Really? To park. Like I wasn't in like a group like that. It makes it sound like I was a loser. I had friends. I did have friends and they weren't four-legged. I really did have like human friends, but I just liked to be in my own space.
Right.
I don't know. I was like that.
I had friends, but they weren't horses.
Yeah, they weren't just
because like
horses.
the layman, the non-rodeo, non-horse people, they're like, there was a weird-ass horse girl again. Like people think that horse people are weird.
Well, that is true, though. I mean, I did have friends that did think that because that was just weird. Horses? Yeah, because you don't do anything else. Yeah. All you do is horses. And so you have your friends that like partied on the weekend or did stuff. And they were like, oh, don't even invite Amberley.
How big was your school?
I had a pretty decent sized school. My class was 437.
Oh, that's pretty good size. That's close.
Yeah. There was definitely on graduation day, people that would walk across the stage and I had never seen them before.
Really?
Yeah. Which then you feel a little bit bad about because you feel like you should, I don't know.
So did you regret like your 4 years in high school that you didn't branch out more and talk to more of these people?
I don't know. I'm like, it just depends on what memory I have of high school. For the most part, when I talk about high school, I think, no, it was pretty fun. I really did have a good time, but like I didn't drink. I didn't party. I don't know. I wasn't like I said, I wasn't really that sociable, I guess. I couldn't dance to save my life. So it wasn't like you're going to see me do any of those things. I literally played beer pong for the first time about a month ago. No. Yes. At my own house with my parents. Okay. Like that. So we played water pong because
nobody wanted to drink the beer.
Nobody will drink. Nobody drinks. So we played water pong at my house literally about a month ago and my parents almost won. Like that, and that was the first time they'd ever played too. If that just puts into perspective what kind of a human I am.
Chance, when was the first time that you played beer or water pong?
I never have played water pong. I've played vodka pong. That's much worse. I would take... Yeah, that's probably... I shouldn't answer that because it's going to make me look like a douchebag. But, got probably like 14.
14?
Probably. We were hellions. We were naughty kids.
Yeah, I did. Let me tell you one of the worst things I ever did. Mm-hmm. So my parents had this rental house. Well, we had a house getting built. And I was in the basement. I lived in the basement. And they had like those window sills, right? So you could like crawl out, I guess. Mm-hmm. So one time I was thinking, okay, I'm going to sneak out of the house.
Wait, content, where were you going to go?
That was the problem. I literally snuck out, got outside, and then said, well, I didn't really plan any farther than this. So I just got back inside and went to bed. That was the whole thing.
So you weren't sneaking out to go to a party or do any of the typical things? You just wanted to see if you could get away with it?
Which of course I was going to. Like, yeah. Okay, that was lame.
No, that was the best. No, what else do you got?
I don't know. Oh my gosh, that was like the rule break for me, right? Besides curfew, couldn't keep that to save my life. But
really? So
yeah,
like the school dances, you went to all that stuff though.
Yeah, mostly I did. I mean, I think I did most like high school rodeo dances. I did those the most.
Those were always so awkward.
They could be kind of awkward. Ours were awkward. Ours were a bit raunchy, but the school dances were more awkward because everyone was still like 6 foot apart, and that's what we're doing now, 6 inches apart.
Really?
Yeah. Because I live in Utah, right? So the majority
it's very much Mormon.
Yes, the majority of the population is more. I am too. Mm-hmm. So that's the expectation.
Right.
Just very, very clean fun.
Right.
So yeah, the high school rodeo dances were not interesting as like that.
Yeah. We went to I would say a bad school.
A bad school?
It wasn't a good school. Yeah, it was definitely a bad school. We're probably one of the only, call them farm type kids, but no one knew. I mean, they knew, but we didn't carry ourselves that way. I never told people I rodeoed in the summer.
Well, what did you wear? What did you wear to school?
Not cowboy boots.
You didn't?
No,
Did you bag your pants?
Bag them?
Yeah.
Like baggy? No, because that wasn't really a thing, right? Because it's like 2008, 9.
Yeah, that's 10, the same 11. Time I was in school.
No, I didn't really wear baggy. Like slim fit jeans were a thing. That's what I wore. I was
skinny jeans?
Not quite skinny jeans. We weren't quite there yet. I don't think in time. Everybody wears skinny jeans, not cowboys, but your regular guy on the street.
No, my brothers do. My brothers are athletes. They wore skinny jeans.
Yeah, all the athletic people do, and that's what you do. You wear skinny jeans, and fashion. Men's fashion is a thing.
Yeah, I did get my first pair of skinny jeans the other day.
What do you think? You feel?
Well, I'm not wearing them.
You're not. No, not today, but maybe they're in the dirty laundry.
Oh man, Cinch just came out with some, right? So I ordered them, and I tried them on the other day, and I'm like, I don't think they're supposed to fit like this. So I just I left them. That was it. I don't know if I'm ever going to wear them. And I don't have shoes to wear. I have boots.
That's all you have is boots?
Yeah, what about I have one pair of tennis shoes.
Like some Vans or something.
I used to have a pair of Vans, but my little sister stole them. So that was one of the reasons I did take them off, because I just realized
you didn't have anything to go with them?
I had no shoes to go with those.
I mean, it's funny. Cinch is the sponsor of this episode, so they're going to be upset to know you didn't wear their skinny jeans.
Well, but I tried them, so they have to be excited for that. I did try them on.
Are you going to give them feedback hey, the fit was a little off here for me? But
well, the only thing is my legs are so long.
Yeah.
So pants just don't.
You're super tall.
Yes, yeah. Pants just don't fit me. And they have commented on that to me, because I always want to get their extra, extra long jeans. Mm-hmm. And one of the very first times that I did something for them was in the American, and
right.
We could pre-order our jeans, and they gave it to us when we got there, and Jessica was there, and she was like, you know what? I don't even have people that want jeans the size that you want, and they still don't actually make the ones that I want. I want one extra, extra longs. They don't even make those. There's only 3 extra, extra longs.
Right.
And which fit me at one point. Thank goodness they don't fit me anymore. And so now I just have to suffice with 1 extra longs. So I just feel like
don't wear white socks.
No, and people know if they lift me on my horse, one of the first things I will say is fix my floods. First thing. And people, if they
You're
don't,
so worried about it.
Oh,
you
absolutely.
don't want the top of your boot showing.
Never. I don't even want halfway up my boots showing. I don't like that.
Why?
I don't know. I don't like it.
Are you like that with other things though? Are you very? I don't want to say type A, but very things have to be perfect.
You can say type A, because that's the exact.
You are.
That I am very type A.
Uh-huh. I know. I can tell by the way that you guarded the chips.
Oh my gosh!
You know how they say. You know how they say A, B, and C conversation. You're like, these are A chips.
Is that?
And I'm A.
Is that you can't how that
have
goes?
Any. You tell me. I was the one who had to sit there awkwardly. I was so hungry.
I don't even think you ate one.
Because I was scared.
I'll share next time. I'll get you your own bowl next time.
You'll do that?
That would be easier.
You'll pick up the tab on the free chips?
Yep.
Thank God. I'm starving.
Count me in.
It's interesting because, you are really tall, but you come from a very athletic family, and your dad's tall and all that. Mm-hmm. One thing I was always wondering about with you, and you were really young, but how weird was it, like, having a dad who was a professional baseball player? Like, I just have to think that it was weird. My dad's like a semi-famous horse trainer, and I used to think it was weird.
Did people make a big deal about that when you would go places?
Well, no, but like if you would go, because he was like one of the only guys who did what he did were in Colorado, and people would just flock to him for horse advice.
Right.
So I always thought it was weird. But
That they did that.
yeah, but having a dad in Major League Baseball, that's like another level.
Yeah, I mean, it could be, I guess. The concept is always so crazy to me. So he retired when I was 3.
Mm-hmm.
And so I don't remember a lot. I feel like that I've been filtered some memories, so I think I remember them. So, for instance, like the Dodgers would do a family day,
Mm-hmm.
and they would let us come out and play on the field, like for this family day. Right. I vaguely remember doing that.
Right.
But that's kind of it.
Really?
It was really after, it's when we started doing stuff in the horses, and if people knew, or anything, even still now, if I go speak somewhere and people know who my dad is, like, they kind of lose it for a second. They're
Really?
like, wait, what? That's your dad? And I'm like, I mean, he's the guy that grounded me. Like, that was the guy.
Right.
For every minute I was home late from curfew, it was a day I lost my phone. That's what my dad is.
Right. So you don't even care that he played baseball. You're like, this guy was so strict.
Well, he wouldn't let me play because I wasn't going to be good enough.
Really?
Yeah. That.
Wait, is this going to be like a contentious thing?
No,
I'm calling you out, Dad.
He's totally fine because he knows well, he's not fine. He's actually, if I told you some of my dad's stories, he would be kind of sad about me telling them.
Really?
But he has to get over it because I tell them anyway.
So tell him.
Well, I can. Like, I'll tell you so I did try to play softball when I was 9, probably. My older sister was maybe 10 or 11. Mm-hmm. We're pretty close. She must have been 10 or something. And so we tried to play softball, the local little we're tiny.
Like the rec league type thing?
Yeah. We're tiny.
Right.
So my dad taught me how to pitch. So I was the pitcher, and my sister had a broken foot at the time from gymnastics. So she played first base because she couldn't run.
Right.
Our team was terrible. Okay. So my dad already had to like suck it up through that. Our team was bad. And
Was he just so competitive that he couldn't handle the fact that the T-ball team that doesn't even keep score was losing?
Yes, exactly.
It sounds like.
Exactly. I think he was keeping score.
Right.
Like he's that dad. So we get to the end of the season, and he takes us to ice cream after.
Uh-huh.
And I do remember. We're sitting there, we're eating ice cream, and he's like, what did you guys think? Was it fun? Did you like it? And I'm like, I think it was kind of fun. He said, you should stick to rodeo.
Really? Oh, yeah. So you were already rodeoing at that point.
Oh, yeah. I started doing that when I was 7. I started competing rodeo when I was 7. So he was like, yeah, you need just stick to that. Crushed all my softball dreams right there in that moment.
Wait, so you're like, I think I like softball. I think I could, it's in my blood. I
knew I was bad. I can't even pretend like I was good.
So you just knew, like, this is it. It skipped
It
generation.
did. I was actually just telling somebody this just yesterday. I feel like I'm one of the most least athletic people in my house.
Really?
And not because I didn't try. I really did want to be athletic. But, I mean, luckily I'm okay on a horse. But when it came to much anything else, I mean, I would go with all my siblings. So there's 6 of us, right? And we would go camping or something, and kids do stupid stuff, right? Like, let's jump the creek, right?
Right.
And we played a home video. I'm so jumping around on my stories, but
no,
these are just
perfect.
like
this is how we do podcasts.
These are popping up to me that I don't always get to tell. So we have a home video, right? Of we're all jumping this creek, and I'm the last person to jump.
Like on a camcorder.
Like on a
yeah,
on a camcorder. And you watch my first brother jump. You watch my others. They're younger. They watch them. Okay, so my brothers are pretty tiny in comparison to me, and they're clearing this, and I freaking just land right, like, don't even
right
clear.
In the middle of the creek.
Oh yeah, and I'm so mad on camera. I feel like I pouted a lot on camera when I was little because I could just not do what they could do, but I'm just not that athletic.
One thing I always wondered, because your dad played baseball, like, what was it that like really got you into the horses in the first place? Because none of your siblings do it. I guess your younger sister.
My littlest sister does.
But she probably does it because you did, right?
Right.
She didn't like organically come upon it. You're the one who did that.
Yeah. Well, my mom had a horse when she was younger. They were from California. Both my parents were from California. My mom got a horse and wanted to rodeo, but her family couldn't afford to do that.
Right.
So.
Where's your mom from?
She's from California too.
Yeah.
So both my parents are. She's from Fallbrook. My dad's from Camarillo. And yeah, so then that was, I don't know. So when I was born, I think I just had kind of an interest in it, and she just like wanted to make sure it was everything that she didn't have.
So she really had like a fascination with like barrel racing and things like that.
Oh yeah.
I think I heard that she was super interested in it.
Yeah, she was. And she would take my hand as a little kid and like trace the barrel pattern over and over and over.
Really?
Just so it was and I don't actually remember her doing that, but I feel like that was why it was just ingrained into me.
Really? And so because you started when you were like
3.
Yeah, so you basically like kids like me who grew up on horse ranches, you were young enough to where like you started the same kind of way that I did.
I hope
on
so.
A horse,
I think so. But I do feel like it was different just because I had to learn. It wasn't like anybody taught me in that. We found some place that would take a 3-year-old for me to start riding lessons. But
really?
Yeah. And it was good. And I liked her for the fact that she was like a cowboy type girl.
The person who did that wasn't like.
Yeah, that taught me. Wasn't like proper, wasn't any of those things. I don't know. So I was glad I started like that.
Really? Mm-hmm. So was it, so your folks didn't really have ties to it though?
No, not at all.
So was it hard like for them to adjust, like understanding how rodeo worked? Like even junior rodeos, right? Because you probably did Little Britches and whatever the local rodeo circuit was, right? Like for us, it was CJRA in Colorado Junior Rodeo Association. But you probably started doing that. Was it like an interesting adjustment to do that for your parents because they just had no idea how it worked?
I'm sure that they felt way more overwhelmed than I even knew.
Really?
Because I got a barrel horse when we moved to Utah when I was 7. Mm-hmm. So this story people do know. Like I told my dad, I will only move if you buy me a Palomino barrel horse when we get there. Like I felt like I had all the power to throw out some sort of a card like that, which he made me believe that I did because that's what he did when we got there.
Really?
I bought a crazy horse.
Wait, so you had like this, I control everything.
I think it probably started right there.
Yeah.
He fed that for the rest of my life, that I can control things.
Just like the chips at lunch.
Just like that. They're just mine.
So that's where that selfishness came from.
That's where I get right in there in that moment.
Cinch jeans. Cinch reminds you to lead, not follow. Check out their latest styles at cinchjeans.com, including the Arena Flex, which is perfect for summer. Cinch is a proud partner of rodeo athletes and Western lifestyle events nationwide. Follow the trend of professional athletes just like Amberley Snyder and find your look at cinchjeans.com.
Did you turn them all off when I left?
I had to stop.
Okay.
You know, maybe it's taking longer because you're used to the cameras being on each side of it and you can just do it.
Yeah, it's kind of a challenge whenever I can't really even look. So behind the scenes for everyone at home, I usually check the cameras while they're recording just to make sure they're still recording. Where we have them right now, I can't really do that. And so I have a lot of anxiety.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
You take full responsibility for pushing everybody outside of their comfort zone.
Yeah.
Although you did have to ride in a creepy, dark elevator.
I did, but I did survive that.
Yeah, but
what would have happened if you didn't have that? You would have had to carry me up the stairs.
Could have piggybacked.
Yeah, which the only rule with that is no grunting.
No grunting?
Oh, yeah. If somebody picks me up, I don't care how freaking heavy you think I am. If you grunt, you won't pick me up again.
Like,
yeah. My manager
so
doesn't. My manager doesn't even know, but he hasn't picked me up since the one time he grunted.
Okay, how old is he? Is he an older person?
Heck no, he's not.
But you kept him on as your manager, so he must do some things right.
For now. Just kidding.
You are so ruthless.
Just kidding.
All right, there's
Dave,
a new job opening.
I'm joking, Dave.
Dave, please. That is so funny though. Like, how many times does that happen though? Where like
the people grunt?
Yeah.
Not very often because I tell them every time. Like, there's one rule. I would rather you drop me than grunt.
So why though? Like, what is it about that specific thing that bothers you?
It would make me feel chunky. I don't want to be that.
So it's just a typical girl thing. Then.
It's
nothing more than that.
Nothing more than that.
It totally makes sense.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, Dave. I'm afraid I can't do that.
Sound effect. What movie is that from? Don't worry about it.
2001: Space Odyssey.
Oh, I don't even.
I don't even know what that is.
Because you're not into pop culture.
Yeah, I don't
Probably
know
not.
either.
Yeah.
You are uneducated on movies, I guess.
Oh, yeah. Well, this is a rodeo show, and you don't know anything about rodeo.
That's why I'm here.
To learn.
We're giving Ty a lot of sound bites today. This
You
is like
are.
his dream come true.
It's awesome.
Okay. All right. He's really throwing us off track. Kind of like that time with the chips I haven't been able to recover from.
We have, no, and that was that was the start of the day. That was the start.
It was. Well, I mean, technically it was the airport pickup, and then you're like, oh, you guys are boring me. I need to go take a 4-hour nap.
It wasn't even 4 hours. It was like an hour and a half.
Nope, it was 4.
Was it?
Yeah. You were tired. You were
What
sleepy.
kind of math were you thinking there? It was not even that long. We got there at noon.
No.
You picked me up at 2:30, 2:40.
Okay, this is a podcast. I don't know math. I know you're really smart with all your education, but come on. I don't know. It felt like a long time. I was so hungry, and then I didn't get food.
We could have ate before.
You were sleepy.
I was super tired.
Do you feel better?
And I'm grumpy if I'm tired, straight up.
Really?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
What, you didn't get good sleep last night? What was the problem?
It's just been a long weekend. It was the 4th. And I can't even complain, right? I didn't rodeo. I didn't like do any crazy night drives. We just stayed up and watched fireworks and
Wait, so they actually did fireworks where you were at?
yeah.
Like the full-on county deal?
It was at somebody's house.
Oh.
He
so
like
they bought
spends
'em.
thousands of dollars, $2,500 worth of fireworks at this family thing.
Really?
Yeah.
It's like a family friend of yours?
Yeah. Well, he not his house, but
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying.
Right.
He knew the people.
Right. So you were just kind of along for the ride?
Yep.
Was it like
there's never going to be another summer that I won't be rodeoing. So I just tried to do something different.
I mean, I don't think anybody thought that would ever be a thing. Mm-hmm. It's crazy.
Yeah, and since my horse was sick, then I was like, I'm not going to be able to rodeo, so I'm not going to sit at home and just be sad that I'm not rodeoing. So I'm like, let me just go to a completely different environment where they don't, which we ended up going to a ranch rodeo. So we did.
You just went to watch?
Yeah, we just went and watched one of those.
How many ranch rodeos have you been to? Is that the first one?
No, maybe like a handful. I'm not going to lie. I wish before my wreck I had been in a couple.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
You like them?
I would have done the redneck stuff for a little bit.
Really? I do not like them.
You wouldn't go it. You wouldn't
I
even
like
do it. Not
I
even
don't think
for
so.
fun.
Maybe. I don't know.
I
I'm
think
a purist.
I think just go like one time and just like win.
Have you ever been to a Mexican rodeo?
No.
Those are a little different.
Is that kind of crazy?
I feel like it is.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I'm a purist, so if it's not like real rodeos, I really don't like it that much.
You're upset about it.
No, not even upset. It just doesn't interest me that much. Even like amateur rodeos don't interest me. Like I would not go to a circuit rodeo just to go. You know what I mean?
Just to go watch.
I probably wouldn't. Yeah.
Yeah, I probably wouldn't either.
I don't really. For me, it's like I've been to so many rodeos, rodeoed my entire life, and also been to a lot of them. I've been to tons of huge rodeos, like all of us, and going to little circuit road, like to just watch, like Northside, right? Because we're right by Northside. Never go
Yeah. I
unless
probably
somebody's like,
wouldn't
"Hey,
either.
will you come?"
Unless you're going to watch, like somebody wanted you to watch.
Well, yeah, like if my sister's in town or if one of my friends is there or whatever, it's like, yeah, okay, I'll go. But other than that, no.
I even last year tried to just do slacks. I didn't even want to do the performances.
Really?
Which did make it actually a couple rodeo committees
Upset?
a little bit upset.
Because they wanted you in there.
Yes.
Because they wanted to sell tickets.
They do. They want me to be there.
Yes.
And I just said, I don't want to. Sorry.
Which is interesting because one of your goals, I don't know if it's your biggest goal, but it's one of your big goals, is to qualify for the national finals.
Yes.
Have you thought about what they're going to ask you to do?
No. I'll just take that one as it comes.
Yeah.
But I bet I will be exhausted.
Well, everybody is. I mean, the
know.
requirements are on every single athlete. It's a lot. Like,
But I do love that they've had Amberley Moore there, so they've practiced how to say my name.
that's a good point.
Because my name can be hard.
Amberley?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. Or they would have just called me Amber, which I wouldn't. That's not my name. So then I'm glad that I don't know.
Because Amberley Moore will go by Amber.
She actually likes Amber.
Yeah.
Like anyone who really knows her calls her Amber, but they call her Amber.
Why do you not like it?
Because it's just not my name. You can call me Am or you can call me Amberley, but if you call me in the middle, we probably won't hang out.
Really?
Yeah.
So what if somebody picks you up, goes, ugh, is that okay, Amber? It's done there.
Oh, shoot. I would be like, even if you hired me to speak, I might sit there for a second and go, wow, I'm going to have to consider this situation.
That's really funny. It's funny because you come across but you're feisty
But I don't do that all the time, right?
No.
Only people who know me at home are going to know that there's even that side.
Really?
Well, yeah, I mean, because, we talked about there's little kids that watch me. So you have to be a good example. And I love doing that. I really do. And it's not like I'm like a closet, like heathen. I'm not like a crazy person.
No, I mean, well, let's be real. You did play water pong with your parents.
I know.
For the first time a month ago.
Exactly.
If you're going to try to sell me on you not being a heathen, you probably shouldn't have led with that one.
Yeah, right. That was really a crazy moment for all of us.
I would love to be a fly on the wall.
It's okay.
Ty, you're getting really involved here. You're really excited. Calm yourself, child.
I'm having fun.
It's a good one. It's interesting, though, because your goal is to go to the NFR, and that's everybody's goal, right? It's not like you have this strange goal that nobody else has. It's like that's every single person who's picked up a rope, got on a barrel horse, got on a piece of rough stock. That's the goal, right? That's everybody's goal. That's been my dream before.
Right.
That's every member of my family's dream. That's every member of every rodeo family's dream. And that's something that I think you will do, obviously, because you're super driven, which is just a given, just by the way you carry yourself. And it would be really interesting, though, to see how they utilized you when you do qualify.
Which I'm fine with that. I really am. Like, that doesn't bother me whatsoever. Because I feel like if I've made it there, then I've already proven that I deserve to be there.
Yeah.
Because that is one of the things that does sometimes frustrate me, is that I think sometimes, whether it's from other competitors or rodeo committees or something, that I'm just like this sideshow act, and I hate that. Just
is that how it feels to you?
Mm-hmm. Sometimes.
Yeah. Why do you think that is? Do you just think it's because you have a distinct disadvantage?
Well, for sure.
Yeah.
Right? And then they make a big deal out of everything that I do.
Does it drive you nuts, like, in reality?
Not that they make a big deal. Only if it makes me feel like I'm not there to compete.
Right. Which is it's interesting because the fact that you want to do it comes from a genuine desire to compete. It's not for any other reason.
No.
Yeah, which is really admirable. So if you guys are listening, like, stop making her an act. It's bullshit.
I know. That's why I started running in slacks.
It makes sense from that standpoint.
Well,
it's like you want to get in and get out.
I did. You feel bad. I mean, because I want to take the pictures with the kids and I want to let them come and meet my horse and I want to do that. I really, really do. Like, that's part of what I do, right? That's part of who I am, and I love that part. But sometimes I just want to show up and make my run and, like I said, be there to compete like everyone else is.
Do you struggle with that? Like, I don't mean to get like too, because we've been just having a lot of fun. I don't want to like drag us into the emotional weeds, but I actually am curious. Does it like weigh on you? The fact that you have to go through like a lot of BS to get to the point where you can actually just compete?
Well, I haven't even got to that. Oh, you mean like just
in
like
general,
the work that I do behind the scenes, or?
Well, not even that. Because I mean, it's gonna be a given, right? And there's plenty of stuff out there that you've done that show all that, right? Like, we all know that, which it's great and it's amazing. And I think anybody who knows you, likes you, who wants to be friends with you, like me, like, super proud of that. Like, how could you not be, right? But for you, like, just for your own mind, right? Nobody occupies that space but you. It has to drive you nuts, right? A little bit.
Just everything that goes. I don't know. Like, I think that when I get on my horse, I honestly don't even really try to pay attention to anybody else, which I think maybe is why sometimes I get frustrated, because I want to do sometimes just for me. And I feel like I don't always get to run just for me anymore. Maybe that sounds super selfish. I don't know. Now it sounds selfish when I say it out loud and hear it back in my ear that I'm like, wow, you should stop talking. That's
why we wear the headphones.
Shut to the sky to myself. That's what I'm saying.
No, but if you don't, right? Like if you don't do certain things for yourself, then you get into this space where you don't know why you're doing something, right? Like if your goal was to make the NFR for everybody else, I'm going to be honest, you probably would never make it.
Well, I don't think you would. And I even think like, man, this is getting kind of deep, I guess. But people ask me sometimes like, man, have you called those doctors that said you couldn't ride again? I'm like, no.
Why would you? That's
because I wasn't. Well, just because it's like a lot of people are motivated from proving the haters wrong.
Oh, yeah. I guess that makes sense.
People are motivated by that, right? Like I'm proving this coach that said I couldn't make it wrong. I'm proving this person who said I wasn't good enough wrong. I'm not out there to prove anybody wrong.
Right.
Ever. With nothing that I do, there's not a part of me that's motivated through hatred.
Right.
I honestly do everything I do because I love it.
Right.
I mean, it truly makes me happy.
Right.
So when they ask those questions of, well, have you told them to come to a rodeo? And I'm like, no, if they want to come, they're welcome to come. But I'm not going to go out there and say I'm running because you told me that I couldn't.
That would be so, like if you actually did it, did you think about like, now I'm making it comedy again, but that would be weird, right?
Well, kind of. If I did right now that I like bring it full circle. There has been stuff that have been very full circle moments, right? When I almost made college finals.
Yeah.
That was going to be in Casper, Wyoming. That was where my surgery was.
Well, that's symbolism.
So that would have been, and so people were like, "Are you going to invite your doctors if you make it?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I mean they can if they want to come."
Sure.
It's not like I'm showing up to try to prove anything wrong. I don't know. Do you get what I'm saying?
I totally get what you're saying.
So I do get asked that sometimes if that's my motivation, and I just tell them no. I mean, my motivation was there from the time I was 3 years old of what I wanted to be.
Right. Nothing changed with your goals. It's just the road you had to take to get to those goals that changed, right?
Yeah. And it still has.
Right.
I can't put a timeline on it anymore. And it is harder. I wish I could tell people I truly do to my core that I felt like I didn't have a disadvantage.
Right.
But I would be so lying.
Absolutely. And it would be inauthentic, and you're not. So there's nothing wrong with being at a disadvantage. It just makes the things that you do so much sweeter when you do accomplish them, because you had to overcome a lot. And everybody, look, the road to the NFR is a bitch, no matter who you are. Right. I mean, every single person who's done that will tell you that. It's hard. It's a lot of rodeos, and it's a lot of work, and it's a lot of sacrifice, and every single person, it doesn't matter how advantaged or disadvantaged they are in whatever realm of life they're in, it's going to be hard. Right. And you know that. And you've struggled.
And it is a mental battle, I think, no matter who you are.
Yeah. Yeah. And you've struggled through things that nobody else, very few people will understand. So you've got a mental toughness that a lot of people don't have, which will transfer over to that road really well, I think, when you decide you're going to just
hopefully
pedal. You got it.
I will say this. I wish that someone would take my horse for a minute. Mm-hmm. Take my horse that is at the highest level, and just so that I can see what he really could do. Because I trained him. Right. So I've never been able to see how fast my horse is capable of being. I know he's freaking wicked. He is.
Why haven't you asked somebody to run him a jackpot?
I think people are nervous to ride my horses. I've let my little sister ride him. I have. But she does get nervous to ride them.
Really?
Yeah, like him. Just him. I used to hand her down horses all the time, and that wasn't a big deal. But Legacy, the one that I run right now, I have let her run him a couple times. And he's funny. Don't get me wrong. Like, he's very... Bear horses are. They're very particular. So she just doesn't dare touch him. She doesn't dare really ask for what he has. And
do you think that she doesn't because she'd probably worry that she's going to mess something up for you? Because
I think so.
the way that you're forced to ride is completely different than the way anybody else would naturally ride.
It is.
Because you're forced into that.
It is, but you can still, I mean, like I say, my horses are kind of like hand control vehicles. You can drive them with your feet.
Yeah.
And they make it work. They'll be funny, though. Like, the first time you kick them, you can tell they're like, yeah, that didn't mean anything. And then the second time, they're like, wait a minute, that has a purpose. And then usually by the third time, then they're like, oh.
Just instinctually, yeah, they get it.
They get it.
I mean, do you want to call some barrel racers out right now to come ride your horse?
I'm like, come haul my horse for a minute.
I have a hard time believing that somebody would say no to that.
And I wouldn't, if I felt like he was mediocre, I wouldn't even make that comment, right?
Yeah.
If I felt like he was not capable of being good, I'm not going to be like that. Hey, I think my backyard pony is the next
I mean,
NFR
we're in
horse.
Texas. There is no better proving ground for horse. I mean, truly, there's more competition on a nightly, weekly basis in Texas than anywhere else in the country for barrel horses.
Yeah,
Like, it's the best place to do it.
that is true.
So, I mean, you should, if that's something you want to do, I think you should definitely do that. I'll ask people for you.
Now I'm nervous.
I'll ask people for you.
I don't
I'll do
even
it
know
for you.
who I would ask. You're going to do it for me?
I will do it for you. And I don't know why, because you didn't share chips with me, but I'm just feeling nice today.
Thank you. I do.
Yeah.
I do appreciate it. I'll let you have some next time.
Okay, next time. But yeah, that's a great idea. If that's something you want to do, you should do it. Somebody will do it.
Yeah, maybe.
I'll get it before the night's over.
That's a pretty big statement.
Trust me. I'm on a podcast.
He likes to say anything he wants.
It does. How often does it come true?
Rarely.
Oh, fair enough.
You don't even know what you're talking about.
Says,
No. I mean, look, my sister is a very famous barrel racer.
She is. I was wondering if that's the hookup you were going to
I actually know
You
somebody
were?
else.
Really?
Yeah, I'll tell you after the show.
Okay.
Yeah, but she would be a good one.
I think because I just want to know what my horse is capable of, right?
Yeah, you should, because what that'll do, I think, not like I should speak on it, but is it'll give you a good gauge. Because if someone at the top level can win on your horse, then you learn one of two things: either the horse can't do it, or they can do it, right? Because if the horse can't do it, it doesn't matter how much you.
It won't
not gonna
matter.
matter.
No, it won't matter. It won't matter how cool I think he is or what he's been capable of if he can't. Because I know where my disadvantages are, right?
Right.
So I know where my balance is off and I know where he knows where he can take advantage of me.
Right.
So there's like those, and I'm 3/10 off some good girls
Right.
knowing I have those hiccups.
Right.
So I'm like, man, what could my horse do if he wasn't doing those? Or if we just made him forget that those are even an option,
Yeah.
those hiccup steps, like
Right.
he's not capable of doing those.
Yeah. Somebody's gonna have to have them for 90 days, probably.
Probably.
It would be very fun to see that, I think,
know.
for you, because if the horse can't do it, then get rid of the horse and get a new
yeah,
horse.
right. Then I just know my time should be somewhere else.
Yeah, absolutely. And if it's your goal, and I know it is, why waste time?
I know.
You got it.
Now I'm kind of excited.
You should be.
A
Like,
little bit nervous.
You're on a very specific journey, and you wrote that journey for yourself, right? So if you're not willing to take those steps, what do you expect?
Right.
I shouldn't be calling you out. But, I'm just saying.
You kind of did.
I did. That's kind of rude, actually.
Can you please not call out our guests while they're in front of you?
I don't know what I was just thinking. I don't know. I was
You've
so
had
mad about the
you've had
chips.
too much to drink already.
That's not true.
I
She-
left
she had
here
more than me.
motivated. We'll say that.
You what?
I left here motivated.
Yeah.
It's usually my job.
Wait, so you think I could be a motivational speaker?
Well, let's not go that far.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you're right. I don't have the proper
No.
training.
No.
Stick to what I know. But it's interesting because we were kind of talking about at lunch how you got started in that, and you were telling me how much of a passion that is for you. When you were like growing up, was there anything like that you did that was similar to that? Like, did you do any public speaking or any?
I did debate.
before-
Well, my mom tried to sign me up for debate,
Really?
and I was so dumb. I
Like-
thought it was terrible.
Really?
It was honestly terrible. I had to write a letter to get out of debate. Like you had to tell them all the reasons of why you didn't want to be in debate anymore.
Really?
And I wrote a terrible, nasty letter.
What did it say? I mean, Cliff
I
Notes
pretty
it.
much said it was just a waste of my time and it was the dumbest thing I'd ever done. And I'm in like 4th grade.
So you had to debate your way out of debate?
Yes, you did. You weren't allowed to leave debate unless you had a good enough reason to leave.
You know what's
debate.
ironic about that is you probably proved that maybe you should do debate by writing that letter.
Probably, huh? If you have a good enough reason that they let you leave.
But they
that
did
they're
let
like-
you leave. They're
They
like,
did. They did. So that's like really the only speaking I did growing up.
Really?
Besides just being straight up mouthy. Then,
Not you.
no, not me at all.
So when you started doing that, like, was there a big learning curve? Was it like, did you throw some air balls for a while when you started doing public speaking? Or did it just come naturally?
No, I got pretty lucky. Well,
Really?
because I mean, through high school, being in FFA, you do a lot of speaking.
I never did it.
You never did FFA?
I didn't do FFA.
No
We had
leadership,
it.
no nothing?
I mean, I don't want to say the type of leadership. I was like the person who convinced everybody to do bad things.
That was your leadership
It was
training.
still leadership.
It is. I can't even argue.
Yeah. In fact, it's funny because I had to write a letter to the Colorado High School Rodeo Association for that very thing, like an apology letter.
Apologizing.
Yeah. I can't say what for because it's not good. But yeah, I did. I had to write out a letter to Colorado High School Rodeo Association for dragging people into bad things.
I didn't even know that was something you'd have to do.
I might have been the first and only time.
Wow.
My dad might have just made me do it so that they would let me rodeo again.
That could have been it.
But I did hand wrote it too on college rule paper.
Good job.
No, it was not good.
Well, not the
probably
original, but
snarky.
the fact that you mean your letter wasn't good.
No, it was probably snarky because I didn't believe I did anything wrong. I bet.
Yeah, that could have been true.
Also, knowing Chance.
That's probably true too.
Yes. Still.
I only did one bad thing in high school rodeo, and that was at Little Britches finals. My last year. I went and got window marker and wrote on everyone's marker Utah rocks. And you would have thought that's very innocent, right?
You wrote it on what?
Everybody's windows, like everybody's trailer windows, truck windows.
Utah rocks?
Yeah, that was it. Just super, like, it's not even like it was anything vulgar.
That's the worst you've done?
That was. But they did almost try to DQ me for that, but nobody would say anybody. And I won the world that year, so thank goodness they didn't. When I went up there to get my saddle, I almost just said, Utah rocks.
That would have that would have been pretty good. You
just
make
to
me
see.
feel like a really bad person.
I know. That was the worst I did.
Yeah, what is it? Was it the strict parents, the Utah thing? I mean, what made you be so inherently good?
The expectation.
Was it the expectation or the fear?
No, definitely I think the expectation.
Really?
Yeah.
You did not want to disappoint your folks.
Or myself.
Yeah.
I've kind of been that. I know that sounds super weird to say, but I expected straight A's myself. My parents didn't have to get mad at me for it. They didn't have to reward me for it. There was no part of it for that. It was like, that's what I'm doing.
That's really interesting. So you just weren't a boundary pusher. You didn't ever want to see how much you could get away with. It was more you were holding yourself to a high standard because you wanted to achieve good things, even at a young age.
To be honest, this sounds like every Mormon person I went to school with in high school.
Really?
Yes, expectations were always high of them from their parents, and they always were overachieving. They were never going out and doing other stuff. They were always getting the straight A's, being the top of the class, going to some of the best schools in Utah.
Yeah.
But this sounds like every Mormon person I met in high school, to be honest.
I mean, it's just I don't know. Maybe it's just part of how we are raised.
Maybe.
But not every sibling in my house did that. Like, not every sibling in my house is
One of your brothers was probably a hellion, right?
for sure.
Yeah.
How many siblings do you
sure.
have?
There's 6 of us. So I have 5 siblings.
Yeah, so one's bound to go off the path.
For sure. And my older sister's perfect in every way. And I say that in the
What does she
honestly
do
the
now?
utmost respect.
Oh, coach, you already told me that.
Yeah, she's a gymnastics coach right now and does an excellent job at it. But she just didn't make mistakes. Like, she just is perfect. And I say, like, and seriously, in an admiring way.
Yeah.
Like, she just was never tempted, never strayed, nothing. And,
Really?
and not that I was a bad kid, right? But I missed curfew. But that was still not that bad. And then my brother
you don't understand bad kid.
No, I really probably don't.
Yeah.
And like my mom will sometimes say, "I hope you have a kid just like you," and I'm like, "Me too." I don't.
Like, well, thanks, Mom, for insulting me. Not.
Like me too. I hope I do.
Yeah. It's interesting because everybody has a little bit different way that they grow up, and it's like I just remember being rotten, but you were so good, and I like to think, God, if I would have met one nice person like you, maybe I would have been a little nicer.
Or you would have pulled me to the dark side. What if that?
I don't know if I could influence you.
You don't think?
I don't know. You did drink the drink I gave you, I guess.
That was true.
We'll see. We got plenty of time today before you leave tomorrow. We'll see how far I can get you in the dark side. But
You won't get me to cuss on a podcast, though.
cuss on a podcast?
Yeah, that won't happen. You've already done that once.
Oh. Well, see, you're keeping track. That hurts my feelings.
I don't do that, though.
No, you're so clean cut. Although you did curse in the truck.
Did I?
You did.
I apologize for that.
Are you Canadian now?
I don't know. I might have. Maybe. Yeah, maybe.
They're just words.
Yeah, I wasn't on camera. Or on
You
a
were.
microphone.
You were on camera.
No, it started when I came in the door in here, and you did give me a heads up.
I did. I was like, just so you know, there's going to be a guy with a ponytail recording you. Mm-hmm. All worked out.
It
Except for he
did.
couldn't run the cameras that well.
Yeah, he did miss a lot of good stuff.
He did. A lot of good stuff. Because you said some really insightful, amazing things that would change so many people's lives, but he didn't catch it.
You're fired.
You've never given a speech like the one you gave when we thought he was rolling the camera.
Yeah.
It was the greatest speech. Winston Churchill himself could not have pulled that off, and he missed it.
Now you're just lying.
What?
Can't do that.
Chance is the biggest bullshitter there is.
Oh, come on. But again, let's get back. I really am really curious, like if you've kind of mapped out your approach to how you're going to tackle pro rodeo. Like it's interesting, right? Because you probably don't want to talk about it too much. You don't want to give away your secrets, but
Are there secrets?
no, stay up all night, drive, and hope for a good draw.
Like, I think that I don't know if there is a secret method to getting there anymore. And I do recognize that.
The hard work.
Yeah, for sure. And like, I do recognize you have to have a good enough horse.
Yep.
And you have to have, I mean, it's not a secret. You have to have the money to get down the road.
Yep.
Like, if you think you're going to make it just on your winnings, okay, unless you're Haley Kinsel and can just win all the time, then I feel like, then I feel like from there you do have to figure it out. So I know that. I mean, like right now, I literally have a stock trailer. Like that's what I drive,
right?
Like, or pull, or whatever we want to say. I mean, I am getting a trailer built. I finally am getting a living quarters trailer built.
Yeah, Hart, right?
A Hart
And
trailer
Signature.
with Signature.
Yeah, those guys
shout out to them because they are amazing.
They're great guys. Yeah,
Yeah.
Anthony over there is a really nice guy.
Yeah, so I am finally making that decision to get that, which will be life changing. I don't have to sleep on the floor of my tack room anymore, so that's super nice.
Why did you just hold out?
No,
For a
because
long-
I've had to buy everything myself.
Right.
So I mean, people do misconstrue that, right? Because my dad was a baseball player, so they figure my whole life I should have just had money to do that.
Well, if you look at everything that's kind of been surrounded by you, people are going to naturally assume, right?
Super not the case.
Right.
My dad, he is frugal in the sense of like, because he didn't value rodeo.
Right.
So for him, the idea of spending a lot of money, why would he need to do that? If it is in baseball, you get the best of the best.
Well, yeah, and the money difference like that a baseball player gets
Yeah.
and a rodeo person just has the opportunity to get, it's not even in the same hemisphere.
No. My first horse was $3,000 as a 7-year-old kid. That's what I had. And that was his expectation. Like nothing, that should be the most expensive horse he should ever buy me.
Did you tell your dad that a stud sold for $1.75 million
I haven't
last
even
month?
told him he would.
I wonder what he would think of that.
He would think that that's absurd.
Has he changed kind of the attitude towards that stuff lately?
He has.
Does he understand the value
Yeah,
of it?
yeah, he does. But I feel like it's all been a learning curve. Like even down to who shoot our horses when I was younger, it was the cheapest guy you could find, right? And then it took a couple horses getting crippled for him to be like, oh, wait.
And that's one of the big disadvantages you had that, like, say, I did not have because my folks were horse trainers. And it was literally the opposite. It's like so much money went into the horses that the money management everywhere else was screwed up.
Maybe that would, and so that, yeah, it is different for me in that sense. We pulled, when I was little, we had a Suburban with a red bumper pole trailer that we took to the, like.
Wait, like the red bumper pool trailer with like the green tinted windows, like that thing?
Yeah.
Yep, I remember
And
those.
my dad put Amberley's Lacey on the back so everyone knew it was us. But I'm going to say, that didn't bother me. I thought that was the coolest thing.
Really?
I tell my little sister that trailer is so crazy that trailer somebody else owns, obviously now, and it pulled out of the vet the other day while we were there, and I turned to my little sister and I said, do you see that? Like, that's my trailer. That was our trailer. And she said, I wouldn't have rodeoed if we had that. Straight up. She's like, if that's what we would have gone to the rodeo in, I wouldn't have rodeoed.
Really?
Yeah. But that was what I had.
Right.
And my dad bought me one saddle my whole life. He bought me my very first saddle. And from there, if I wanted something else, he's like, well, you better win it then.
Really?
Yeah.
So, wow, that's so crazy because I can guarantee nobody would have expected to hear that from you.
Maybe not.
No, of course they wouldn't. I mean, you have to look at how things have been portrayed.
Right. I duct taped my boots on.
Yeah.
Like that, because I was like, oh, I gotta win another pair of boots. Like I need boots. I need boots for my horse.
Yeah.
So I would be the kid that would go out there if it was a muddy rodeo and everyone lost their bell boots. I'd go pick the bell boots up and hose them off at home so I had more bell boots.
Really?
Yeah.
That's crazy. I mean,
I still do that, and I'm even sponsored by Classic. Like I should no longer do that, but I don't know. Like in my mind, if my bell boot falls off in practice, it's still fine. If it falls off at a rodeo, I have to leave it at this point, because like but that's literally the way that I have been made.
yeah, it's so interesting. I mean, me personally, I had no idea about it. I'm shocked to hear that that's how it was, because I can actually relate to some of that stuff, because we didn't have money. We had shitty trailers for a long time, and so I get it, and that's so interesting. But I'm glad that like you're finally going to have the tools necessary to really attack this thing that you want to do the way you want to do it. It's going to be really exciting, and I'm really excited to watch.
Well, thank you. I hope at some point I need another. Well, first of all, I have to find out what my horse is capable of.
You're gonna find that out
if we're going to do that.
Yep.
And then 2, I feel like I need another one. I feel like you've got to have, like, 'cause since he got sick a month ago.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I wouldn't enter the rest of the year. Like
Well, you'll learn you have to have a backup horse at some point, because anything can happen at any point.
Yeah. So I do have her, and I think she is going to be pretty cool.
Mm-hmm.
But we're trying to honestly, to try her out, she turned in front of the first barrel. Like she didn't even, I came out of the arena. My sister's like, you're not buying that horse.
Really?
Yeah, because she didn't know, so I have to ride to the first barrel with my left hand.
Right.
Like on Legacy, I usually like spank him once or whatever, because otherwise he'll lope. My horse will lope the pattern. People don't think that, but my horse really will. If I do not hit him to the first barrel, he's loping.
Yeah, because it's interesting, because a barrel racer's most used tools is their legs. I mean, kick. I mean, you hear people from the stands, kick.
Yeah.
I mean, that, if you think about it, it's got to be hard to motivate a horse to go without being able to kick. I guess I haven't really thought about it that way.
hate being the barrel racer that makes my horse hot in the alley.
Yeah.
To my core, it irritates me. But if I don't, he'll lope. Like he has to be crazy, and I don't like it, because every part of me wants my horse to walk in the alley, go when I ask, not be crazy, nothing. But if I do that, I will never clock.
You don't get anything out of him.
Nothing. So this new mare, I try to send her in with my left hand, and then I usually switch about 4 strides out is when I will switch and go to my right hand for my first barrel.
Right.
And I switch, and she turns. She did that to me twice, trying her.
Really?
So my little sister's like, you can't ride this horse. Like, this isn't going to work. We need to get you something else. And I said, nope.
You have a good feeling about her.
I do.
Yeah.
I do.
I mean, it's going to be fun to watch, because how many times have you been to Thomas and Mack? Quite a few.
Yeah, quite a few.
But when the crowd reacts to like something that they're super passionate about, it's really neat. I think it'll motivate the shit out of you when the way people react, like when you run in for your first time. I'll just go ahead and go on record and say that you'll get there, and it'll be really fun, but it will be cool. So yeah, you got to find out what your horse can do and all that. And we don't have to talk about that anymore, but it's interesting, because I always wonder, like when people have big goals, like everybody has a goal, right? Yours just happens to be the most common goal in our industry.
Yeah. Which I'm fine with. It's one of the only things
Super Bowl.
that I get to be like everybody else.
Yeah, it's totally true. But because it is the biggest show in the world for this type of thing, and it's just so historical, and that place is so special and unique, and you bring a whole nother crowd of people, really. I mean, because you have a very interesting following for reasons that no other rodeo people do. So you making that is actually really good for the sport, right?
I would hope so.
It is, yeah, because it'll bring a different demographic of people over, right? Because you probably have a lot of non-rodeo people who are your fans, right?
I think so.
Yeah.
I mean, just even from speaking, right? Because
Right.
I speak to groups who have nothing to do with horses.
Right.
And so they bring me in, and I talk to people who have never done anything with horses before, and then they follow.
Yeah.
Then they get to be a part of the world.
Yeah.
Or, the fact that my brother's still a baseball player, so I have the baseball realm. My sister's in gymnastics.
Colorado Rockies, right? You told
yes,
me that.
yeah. Yep, he's on their AA team, so he's with them. And, I mean, it's all different kind of realms, I think, of people.
So when you look at the demographic of just people in regards to rodeo, right? You've got what I'll say the us people, right? The diehard rodeo people who grew up in it, who love it, who are all about it. And then you've got the far, I'm only going to say left, not political, but they're over here, who are like, you can't do that. It's animal abuse. But then you have this giant area, which I would call the gray area, of people who don't necessarily care about that, but with the right approach could become fans and could expand, the industry.
Right.
And somebody like you is the perfect, because you've kind of transcended the sport with what you've done, and you've approached it really well. And there's other people like Fallon Taylor has transcended the sport from him. She's a marketing genius. She did a great job with that. But people like you guys are kind of the key to unlock that door to get the people in the gray area over. That's why I think it'll be really great when you do get there.
Yeah. I'll take it. It's one of my goals. Like I said, I don't have a timeline on it.
Yeah.
I feel like I have those big, you have those big things you want to accomplish, and that is one of them.
You've got your Mary Burgers and your Donna K. Rule. I mean, there's no timeline. I mean, you can keep going for a long time.
And I'm already strapped in, so there's nothing that I need to worry about there. Like I tell people when they ask me how much longer do you think you're going to ride, I'm like, well, I'm already seatbelted to my saddle, so there's not really a timeline for me, I don't think.
That's a good point.
You know what I mean? I never had to hit like that humbling age of, man, I just don't think I can sit in the saddle anymore. I'm there. I'm in it.
That's a good point. It's funny because who came up with the seatbelt idea? Where did that come from?
There's a team roper in Arizona. He's not paralyzed, but he had a seatbelt on his saddle. So the lady that taught me how to barrel race, they found out about him, and so that's where we found it. Cut out of a junkyard car, strap it on my saddle, and holds me in.
Really? So on all your saddles, do you have a different seatbelt on each of them?
I do.
Yeah.
I do. Yep.
So do you have somebody come in and like put it on in a specific way, or?
I've had a couple of different. I don't have that many saddles, right? That's one of the things that drives people crazy. My saddle's super heavy. I've had it since 2004.
Really?
But I don't get another saddle because I'm yet.
Nobody's just come out and said, we want to make you a saddle?
None of them work. None of them work yet. Like they just don't fit the same.
Really?
Yeah.
What is the saddle?
It's a Pro Rider.
It's a Pro Rider with the tall horn Pro Rider?
It's a Pro Rider.
I remember those.
So I won that in 2004. Like I said, I don't get to buy anything.
Yeah.
So I won that. Mm-hmm. And it's probably, not like, I don't know, it fits my horse. It fits a horse I have right now. Super fine. But, and that's just what I have. And it's heavy. Mm-hmm. It is freaking heavy.
Saddles have changed a lot.
Yeah, they have changed a lot, but it's what fits. Fits me, fits my horse. I've tried a couple different saddles that will fit my horse really well and I can't ride in, or I've had a couple that fit me pretty well and they don't fit my horse. Because my saddle cannot move an inch, or my balance is thrown off. Like my horses are, I feel bad, but they're sucked calf roper tight.
Right. Mm-hmm. It makes sense. I'm just surprised nobody's approached you to try to like mold a saddle for you.
Like I said, I've had a couple people and they've tried, but I honestly feel like they're going to need to take my saddle and replicate my saddle, just maybe make it lighter in a sense, and then they have to fit my horse's back because, like I said, it can't move.
You guys, saddle makers, what are you doing? You're missing a golden opportunity here.
Well, and I will say there are some companies that are nervous because they don't want to be responsible for me being strapped to my saddle too. So I've actually had that conversation.
Why wouldn't you just sign a release?
I don't know why that's
weird.
a thing. I don't
They
know.
would be missing out on a golden opportunity.
It could be. And there are so many people that want saddles like mine. I send out a picture of my saddle to people almost every day.
It just doesn't make sense that you don't have your own saddle series. For God's sakes, we have a Colorado Series saddle, or had a Colorado Series saddle.
I know, I don't have one yet. And
doesn't make sense.
Well, I know, maybe at some point I'll put it on the list of things.
I bet you it happens soon. It makes sense. God, you're still riding the same Pro Rider? Mm-hmm. Are they even a company anymore?
I don't know.
I'll never forget those saddles because they just had obnoxiously tall horns.
Yeah.
They did. I don't know of any other saddle that had that.
But it works for me.
It does work for you.
Yeah.
I guess it makes sense because you really need to utilize that a way that nobody else does.
I balance on it. Actually, now I've actually shifted. I don't even balance on the horn anymore. I just balance on the pommel of my saddle.
Really?
Yeah, I do. I grab the whole thing.
Huh. Which kind of is interesting. It leads me into a question I've wondered is, like, when you were adjusting to being in your chair and all that, as far as you probably had to really focus on a lot of fitness stuff with your upper body to make sure that you could pull yourself, because, you pulled yourself into the truck like no problem.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, how much time did you have to dedicate to that type of stuff to where you could function really easy in that environment?
I don't know. I still do that.
Really?
Yeah, I do. I still try to pay attention to that. It was just what I wanted to do. So, try to figure out how to put a saddle on, how to try to lift myself on. That was all discoveries that I'm just like, I want to be able to do this. Yet they told me in the hospital, like, your arms are going to get huge and you're going to get man arms. They call them marms. And I'm like, I'm not going to get marms. And I look in the mirror now and I'm like, freaking marms.
Do you lift a lot of weights?
No, I don't lift any. Actually, I don't.
It's just the daily stuff?
Mm-hmm. I mean, I did just start doing CrossFit during quarantine. So I did actually, that's the first time I've worked out my entire life. I didn't even take PE in high school.
Really?
Yeah.
I was sitting here thinking, because I intentionally make sure I don't look into too many different things because I want to like ask organic questions, to be honest. So I don't look into like stuff like deep stuff like that.
Yeah.
And so I was like, I mean, she had to have done something to be able to lift a saddle over her head and put it on her horse. I mean, because that's not easy, especially from a seated position.
Yeah. There's no momentum, right? You can't swing.
Exactly.
There's no swinging the saddle. There's no momentum. It's just straight above your head. Mm-hmm. Sometimes I'll balance it on my head and then just put it the rest of the way, just depending on how tall my horse feels that day.
So what did you do with the CrossFit thing? Like what did you go to, like a CrossFit gym?
I do still.
Really?
Yeah, I do. And that's been kind of an interesting thing. Like I said, I've never worked out. In PE in high school, I didn't take it. I instead exchanged. I wrote a wrestling strength conditioning workout for the wrestling coach, and they signed me off on PE, which really means I copied it down from my dad's Indian strength and conditioning thing, and then gave it to them. And
that's rotten.
Yeah, that's what I did. But you see people working out and they never look happy. So why do I want to do that? Like, I'm like, do you ever see someone running down the road just smiling?
Not running.
No, you don't. They don't look happy. And so I'm like, I'm not going to do that. That seems like such a waste of time. Because I think life's too short to not be happy. But during the quarantine, I'm like, okay, you can get into better shape than what you're in. So you should start. So I did.
Is it miserable?
I'm not smiling. Definitely not. And I know my trying hard face is not cute. So it's just what it is. But it's been good. Like I've been able to see what I'm capable of.
Yeah.
Like we do max push-ups, max pull-ups. I did like a challenge the other day with my brothers. I just learned how to like rope climb by myself. So, I mean, obviously there's no feet that go involved into that, and figured that out, but
guys, it's not audio only. The Gauge is on YouTube. Every single episode's on YouTube. We got 4K cameras, the best stuff. Check it out on YouTube if you want to see faces. Bright, smiling faces. We don't just use this lighting for nothing. We video it. Subscribe to our YouTube channel. Hit the notification bell. Lots of people are watching the videos, but not a lot of people are subscribing. Please help me. Help us. Help the Gauge. Subscribe on YouTube.
No, so I'll tell you. So CrossFit, I was like at home. I was standing, this is a couple weeks into quarantine, and I try to stand every day. When I'm home, I have a standing frame. Mm-hmm. And I just thought, okay, like you need to get hotter. So you need to figure out how to do that. So
you need to get hotter. That's a great marketing tool.
I'm like, so you got to figure it out. Mm-hmm. So I'm like, all right, I'll do some CrossFit. So I'm like, I'll just do that. Since I've never done it, I thought, let's just try. Mm-hmm. I will say the workout I did this last Monday, if he'd have led with that, I would have never gone back.
Really?
Straight up, not gone back. It was ridiculously dumb and hard. But why
was it dumb?
Well, just because, so he told me, I get in the door and he said, today is going to be like a mental day. And I'm like, okay, so what does that mean? He's like, physically, I know you can do what we need to do today, but mentally it's going to push you.
Really?
So I said, okay, that's fine. Like, let's do it. Mm-hmm. So it was like a 5K ski. So they have like a ski thing on the wall, right?
Where you do this, yeah.
This.
Oh, those things.
Yeah. So like a two-hand, as if you were like cross-country skiing or whatever. So it was a 5K ski, and then every 5 minutes in that ski, regardless of how far I was, we would stop and do we did max push-ups the first stop, then I'd go back and ski for 5 minutes. Then we did max pull-ups for the second stop, go back ski for 5 minutes, and then a rope climb, go back ski for 5 minutes, and then max push-ups, you know what I mean?
Right.
So by the end, I've been doing this for 40 minutes, and I get done and I'm like, that mentally, my life is hard. I don't need that to be hard.
Right.
So I went back on the next day, Tuesday, and he said, we're going to do the same thing we did yesterday. I said, I'm out of here. He's like, no, I'm just kidding. I'm like,
He didn't want you to leave.
I'm like, I'm all for pushing myself. I am. I do it all the time. That's how my life works. But I was like, that's not what I'm not at CrossFit to prove anybody anything. I'm not trying to go be out.
Because it's not your thing.
It's
right?
not.
If it was your thing,
maybe,
it'd be different, right?
Maybe. And it is fun to see what I'm capable of. Like when I do body weight pull-ups and to know what I'm capable of doing. Super sweet, to figure that out. When I wanted to do not rock climb, do the rope climb. I wanted to be able to do that.
Right.
I told him I want to be able to do like handstand walk. I want to be able to do that. Obviously, he's going to have to hold my legs so that they don't fly around. But like, I want to be able to do those things just to know that I can. And honestly, to even motivate other people. Like that, I think is one of I'm okay to do it to motivate other people in the gym. Like I'm fine with that. I do train by myself though.
Does it make you uncomfortable if there's a bunch of other people in there slamming weights around?
I don't know. I'm not. I just don't even go unless there's. I like the gym to be to myself.
Really?
I think because I don't like the awe factor. Like when people see me and they're like, "Aw, girl."
Oh, that has to piss you.
Like girl
off.
in the wheelchair doing that. Aw.
Does that make you uncomfortable?
I don't like it.
How could you? It's almost insulting, probably, right?
Yeah, I don't like it.
It's kind of like grunting when you get picked up.
For sure.
Same thing.
For sure. Can't grunt when you pick me up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which kind of I've wondered, and I don't mean to be insensitive, but I just really wonder this, and most people probably wouldn't ask out of respect. But like when you had your accident, and we're not going to talk about any of that because everybody knows all that, but were you just brutally angry at people who like started treating you differently?
Let me think back.
Or bitter towards them or any of that?
I mean, I think I was more mad at myself. Like, this is going to get super deep.
Yeah, let's do it.
But
we're on PP break number 2. We're
I
ready.
know. You're right. We're already deep. We're already in.
That's right.
We're already in. We're committed at this point.
Yep.
I feel like my body betrayed me, right? When you look at your feet and they're supposed to do something you asked them to do and they don't do it, you're mad at your own self.
Right.
You're like, your body should be the one thing you can depend on. And I couldn't. It just didn't do that anymore.
How long did it take for you to, I don't want to say forgive yourself, because that's kind of like that's a simplistic way of saying it, but like how long was it where you were just like okay with it?
I'm still not.
You're still not?
Still not. We're 10 years in.
Yeah. Probably never will be with your personality.
I don't think so. I don't know. To me, I don't ever want to get complacent. I don't ever want to be like, oh, I'm comfortable in this chair.
Right.
Never.
Right.
I mean, I still dream. When I dream, I'm walking.
Really?
Yep. Or my chair's like this annoying thing that I have to like go get. Mm-hmm. One of my worst dreams is missing my run. I do that all the time. I don't know. I'm sure barrel racers across the board, or even just anybody across the board. I don't know. Do you have nightmares of that?
I don't know.
You never have?
No, but I don't rodeo now. Right now.
When you did,
I'm not
did
even
you?
able to. I don't know. I can't remember. I'm like a dream forgetter.
Oh, I dream
I never
every
took rodeo
night.
as serious as I should have.
That's fair.
Because a lot of, like, my dad, he would always be like when we would rope, like if I rope calves, he'd be like, you could be amazing at this. You'll be amazing at this. You'll be amazing. But I was just like, I don't really like girls. You know what I mean? Like, that's just the truth. It's like
You'd rather be more amazing at that.
Well, not now, but back then, yeah, I don't know. I was one of those people who didn't try.
But you had the talent.
Oh God, absolutely. I could not, and we had great barrel horses, right? Because my parents did. They trained barrel horses. We had shitty rope horses. And I could even rope good on shitty rope horses.
Yeah.
And my dad helped me a lot and stuff, but I never took it serious. Like, I liked high school, right? I enjoyed high school. There was a time where I hid behind my bed after a high school party and missed rodeo in Keensburg, Colorado, because I didn't want to get up and go.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah, and I don't like talking about this stuff because it makes me sound like a dumbass, but yeah, I did that.
That was real life.
It was real, and I just never took it as serious as I should have. Because when I did, like when I would actually commit to practicing, or like there was times where we would go and try horses. No one could never buy them, but I could rope so great on them with like just not really trying.
Do you think that's why you didn't love it?
No, I love it. I still love it. I absolutely love it. I love everything about rodeo. I don't like bull riding all that much. It never excited me, but I respect the athletes and I respect the sport. I love tie down roping, period. Love it. I love barrel racing. I don't like to barrel race, but I love the athleticism of the horse, right?
Right.
I do. And I love horse racing. All of it. I mean, there's nothing that I love more than rodeo as far as that stuff goes. And I'm sure it's a lot of people feel that way, but at the time, I did not put in 110%.
Right.
My little sister came along without rodeoing for like 6 years, like barely riding horses, and she put 150% into it. And 25 years old, she's a $1 million cowgirl. I mean, she put everything in it, and I could have done the same thing.
Right.
I could have done that, but I chose not to, and it's okay. I put 100% into this now. And, you know, it's my way of being in the world, and my goal is to grow, and that's the whole purpose of the gauge. And 12 gauge's goal, like they're the same goal, grow the sport. So I'm coming at it from that angle. I want to help and grow the sport that I love and that the people I love.
But what I even see, and we need that, like from our perspective. I even think that's part of my job too, right?
It is.
I feel like
Absolutely.
that was not maybe by choice, but where I was thrown.
You feel like it's your responsibility to help grow the sport?
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
I mean, I think that is part of it.
Yes.
And as you know, like we need that. You know, we need people who are going to go out and, you know, like your sister, that they're going to take it that level to start with, and that's how we can encourage people to be there.
Right.
But yet, yeah, it is. I just want to do both, right? Like I want to make it there out of the competition side, but at the same point, do I know that I have the responsibility to draw people to the sport? Absolutely.
Yeah. I mean, and we're in a time, and we all have these tools, right, that the previous generation didn't have. Go back one generation of rodeo athlete, a decade and a half. The tools that we've got, they didn't have. Social media, all these cameras, these microphones, these smartphones, these things we've got to highlight athletes, the sport, stock, whatever it is, nobody had before. So
no, I don't even know if I would get to do what I do if I lived a generation ago.
No, I don't see how you could. And I definitely couldn't. This wouldn't have been a thing.
Right.
And because of the devices that people get on their phones, who would have thought? But we've got a unique opportunity. When I say we, any and everybody who's involved in the sport at any capacity has a very unique responsibility to make sure the sport grows and thrives. Doesn't matter if it's a podcast, if it's you giving your speeches, if it's you qualifying for the NFR, if it's anybody, right? Everybody has that responsibility. Mm-hmm. It can't just be, I'm here for me, I'm going to take what I want from the sport and then go. No, you have a duty to make sure that sport's there for the next people. And that
I
it's
hope
better.
that everyone listens to that, though. Because it doesn't matter if it's on our sport or even my brothers in baseball.
Yeah.
Like, you have to be that. There's too many athletes that don't spend 2 seconds to be kind to the people that are there. I don't like that.
And they don't think about it. And I don't even have anybody I could call out on this, nor would I. I'm not saying it's a specific person, just completely generalizing, right? If you compete in the sport of rodeo, if you broadcast in the sport of rodeo, if you're an announcer, if you're a previous champion, if you're anybody, if you're benefiting from it now, then it is your absolute freaking duty to make sure that you leave it better than you found it for the next people.
I agree.
100%. Because that's not necessarily the case with other things.
No. And it's a team effort.
It is.
I don't know. I've even learned that if I go out and I don't make the run I want to make, I freaking hit a barrel or my horse doesn't work or whatnot. As mad as I want to be, there is still that little girl that's standing at my trailer that wants a picture and honestly doesn't care how I did. Like, that's my job, to make that kid love the sport. If I went back to the trailer and was super mad and said, no, they can't take a picture with me, or no, I'm in a bad mood, or no, it didn't go the way I wanted, I might crush that little kid from getting involved. And that little kid may be the one that makes $1 million that invests into rodeo. Like,
that's exactly what I was going to say.
You never know.
You don't know who you're talking to and who they're going to be in 10, 20 years.
Yeah.
You know, you don't. And that could go positive or negative. You know, if somebody had a bad experience, who knows? They may shut it down later when they grow up. They may become a powerful senator and shut it down. I mean, you just don't know.
No, you really don't. And I think you should always be the kind one. I tell my brother that all the time with baseball. As a baseball player, every time they leave the field, there is all those kids standing there that would just want a ball signed or a bat signed or something signed. And 90% of players walk by.
That's in every sport.
And why? Like, why can't you spend 20 seconds, 20 minutes
fixated on their self? I mean,
like, why? I just don't know why you can't. I don't know. To me, I don't get that.
Your brother should be able to answer that question for you, right?
He should. And honestly, he just says, well, I'm not going to say what he says.
It's definitely interesting because I've been around the NBA G League, which is their development league, which is basically their minor ball. And there you see people, but there's players that even if there's no names, they will spend time and go to fans to make sure that they get a good fan experience. And those are the best kind of players.
That's just the way it should be. I think that's our responsibility. I really do. Because there is one kid out there, I promise, who thinks you are the coolest person that ever existed.
Well, absolutely. And it's the analogy of like if you borrow somebody's things, you leave it better than you left it, right? Use the sport of rodeo. It's been around for over 100 years, technically. You're here for a short amount of time. Leave it better than you found it. Leave a positive impact, and when you're done, people will say that about you. Don't just say, I'm going to take the money I can get, I'm going to take the fame I can get off of it and go. It's not right.
No, it just shouldn't work.
And not when you could do something positive, right? And you do a lot of positive things. You do the children book. You do amazing things, right? It's not, but because you get that. But there's a lot of people who maybe don't.
Right. We can fix that.
Absolutely. And I love that you say we, because it's everybody. Everybody collectively, the sport has so much room for growth. So much. And it just takes people doing things to make it better. Mm-hmm. It's exciting if you think about it. It's like there's a rare opportunity.
It really is. It really, really is. Why do we not want to draw more people to it?
Yeah.
We should.
We should. Why would you not want to have fans from all over the place? It's funny because you probably get messages from people from all over the world.
Everywhere.
Yeah, everywhere.
And they'll recognize me. One of the crazy experiences I ever had was last year. I was invited to speak in Costa Rica. So I took us four older kids with me because I thought while I'm there, like, let's turn it into kind of a vacation. We don't do that. So we stop. No surprise, I have to pee, right? So
go figure.
No surprise. We're trying to drive somewhere, and that's what I've got to do. So we're trying to figure out where we can stop. We stopped at this tiny little grocery store. I'm like,
in Costa Rica? In
Costa Rica, in the middle of nowhere, we find this little tiny grocery store because their gas stations, like, those aren't going to be big enough. I already know they're not. That's not going to be accessible. That's not going to work.
Not in a place like that.
Oh, no. Like, I'm going to be nature peeing before I'm going to be able to go in there. Like, that's just the way that works. So we found a little tiny grocery store. I thought maybe this could work. Mm-hmm. Somebody knew me in there.
Really?
Couldn't speak a lick of English. Couldn't even say
no way.
Nothing. But I go straight in there, right? And I go to the bathroom and I come back. And one of my brothers, he can speak, the one that plays ball, because he's around enough people that speak Spanish that he's kind of picks up on some stuff. And yeah, the second he saw me, he recognized me from the movie and came back and wanted to take a picture. That blew my mind. The four of us got back in the car to finish the rest of the drive. And my brother Taylor was like, we are in the middle of nowhere. We're not even in our own country. And somebody just saw you. How cool is that? Like, somebody just recognized you in a complete area where nobody should even know you weren't, like, who you are. He's like, you should know that that's cool. And it didn't even hit me until he made that comment.
Right, because you're kind of used to that.
Well, but you don't, yeah, and you just don't think about where you are and the atmosphere with that. And I was like, right. Oh my heck. Like, you're right. Like, how cool is that? So that's one of those moments where I just think, okay, in a country that's not even our own, that I can
a non-civilized country.
I can spread some sort of rodeo insight.
Right. And you've got the positivity down. You've got the motivational speaking down. You do it great. Amazing to see somebody like you, how much more potential there is to grow a sport that you're involved in. It's like the sky's the limit. Like, I can't even imagine how much it'll blow up. Like, when you get to that level that you're trying to get to,
right?
It'll be a whole nother thing It'll be crazy
I'm excited
in the
for
best
it.
of ways.
Right,
I'm
right,
super
right.
excited to see it. Absolutely. I think it's going to be really great. And you've had such a really fun start, you know, with the way you got to grow up, and you had a hiccup, but you didn't let it define you, not even a little bit. And you made things happen for yourself, which is really admirable. And it doesn't even matter that you're in a wheelchair. Like, it would still be impressive, even if you weren't. The fact that you whatever the negative situation was, that you took that and you turned it into something so spectacularly positive.
Right.
And what the future holds for you. I'm just really excited for you. I cannot wait. I'm so happy that you came on, and I thought it might be good to end the podcast before we get on PP break number 3. So that's why I'm wrapping it up. But this was such a good episode, and I'm so excited to, like, we're going to keep having fun off air at dinner and stuff. But dude, you're killing it. Keep doing what you're doing. You're impacting so many people in such a great way. So don't ever be discouraged, because you're doing great things, and you're not a sideshow act, not at all. You deserve to be taken seriously, and you're going to kill it. You really are. So keep doing CrossFit, because that's what this is all about. I wasn't talking about rodeo.
Yeah, that's really where we were going with that.
CrossFit.
Yeah,
But
keep working
in all
on that.
seriousness, it's really awesome, and I'm super proud of you as someone who, I really want to be your friend because you're fun, but super proud of your mentality. It's amazing.
Well, thank you. I'll consider your friendship application.
Yeah. Well, where did you send them?
I don't actually know.
Just from the tone of her voice, she's going to decline it.
Eh,
It was worth a shot.
it was. What do you do? But anyway, thanks for coming.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks for having me on.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Maybe someday we can do another one
Yeah, we should.
when you've been to the CrossFit Games.
Okay, fine.
And I'll bring a bowl of chips and salsa for you too.
Thank you. I appreciate that. That's what you needed in here. That's what we were missing.
No, CrossFit athletes don't get chips.
Oh, reason number 700. I'm not going to be a CrossFit athlete.
This has been The Gauge, hosted by me, Chance Conrado, produced and edited by our guy Ty Yeager. Shout out to the executive producers Dustin Pointer and Cody Denton. Marketing and content by Cassie Emerson. Our theme song is by Shay Ashshire and the Night Howlers. Make sure to rate and review this podcast, as well as follow The Gauge on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook. And make sure to subscribe to The Gauge wherever you get your podcast. And don't forget to go to cinchjeans.com and check out all the styles. We'll see you guys next time.